Good morning, you guys. So my goats are all freaking out right now. One of them got herself stuck. She's like that. But we are going to be working outside in the garden a lot today because I've got a lot to do. Just walked right past the gate. Today we're going to first start with planting all of our willow. The willow, as you guys know, is going to be for a living fence. That we got willow because it's a super fast growing, but also willow, once it gets to a certain point, we can actually use it to feed to our animals. So once we have the fences done, in a sense, we can take any excess and feed it to our animals, or we can use it for weaving. So I'm gonna have to pause you guys for a moment. Sorry about that. The goats tend to push their way out if I don't use both hands. So the willow is going to be used as a living fence. It's also going to be used for food at some point because willow is super good, super healthy, and super nutritious. So we are going to do multiple things with it, but you can also use it to weave and all of that as well. So we're going to start over here by this gate, and we're going to work all the way up the hill and then around this paddock all the way around. That's what we're going to start with because I don't have enough to do the entire thing right now. But willow, the reason I'm also choosing willow is because it's super fast growing. It grows 6 to 10 feet in a year and multiple shoots. That is multiple shoots. So that is why I also chose willow as a living fence for around our animal paddocks. Is so that way it grows fast and I can build the fences a lot faster. So this is our goat babies. They love it out here. That's our newest one right there. Her name is Medusa. She is absolutely gorgeous. She's the sweetest. But they are enjoying their new toys, which we have the tires here, this table thing, and then we're going to be building out in the pen for the boys a similar thing. So I'm going to get to work and get set up so we can get this all planted because I also have to water everything out there. And then we have to get potatoes and onions in the garden, hopefully today, because tomorrow I need to get the raised beds built so I can do the strawberries. So crossing my fingers I can get it all done. Two different types here, so I'm going to kind of incorporate this one, which is a flame willow. The branches turn, I think, red or gold, and then I have the Austree. I'm going to kind of intersperse them just to kind of make it look a little different. But willow, I'm planting about a foot apart just because I plan on weaving everything together. So we're going to start, and I might, like I said, I might order more just to kind of make the fence a little bit longer at the start. So we shall see. So we got all of the willow planted that we have so far. So it starts here and it goes all the way to the gate down there. And it's the flame willow and the Austrey willow combined. I probably am gonna order, you know what? No, I'm not gonna order more willow because this should be just fine. But I do need to water it in, and willow does not like to compete with weeds. So I definitely am going to mulch the snot out of this. I am going to come down here with some clippers and hand cut all of the grass super low around it and mulch down on it. Get some mulch on it. I don't really have like wood mulch or anything like that, so we're just going to use the leaf mulch and everything that we have. So crossing my fingers we don't have another windstorm that will blow it all away, because that's what happened in all of our orchard over here. So I got to redo all of that. I'm probably going to actually get water and soak it all to hopefully hold it down. So first up though, I'm going to come down here with some hand clippers and cardboard that I am going to soak while I clip it down. And I am going to use cardboard to first do the first layer of mulch, which that should be pretty good. But I'm going to get that down first, and then we'll come down with the leaves. And I'll get water on those to soak those. But this is getting there. So next step. So I was going to mulch this stuff today. However, it is getting colder and colder by the minute. I think another storm is rolling through, which it wasn't supposed to. But in there, I have a bunch of cardboard soaking. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it. And tomorrow, hopefully, when the sun is out a little bit more, it's still going to be cold, but at least the sun will be out. I'm going to come down and mulch all the willow there. Also, everything out in the orchard, and put the cardboard around it all. And then get the leaves down and mulch it. Right now, I have the boys getting all of the leaf mulch out of our backyard. I had raked a whole bunch back there, so they're getting all of that, and they're getting it into a trailer, and then Justin is gonna bring it closer so that I can make it a little bit easier tomorrow. But that is probably gonna have to be a tomorrow job, because it is getting colder and colder by the minute, and it looks like it's probably going to rain soon. So we're going to call it for right now. One thing I do want to mention though is, if you didn't see, we had spread a whole bunch of seed. And as you can see, it's already starting to pop up. There's grass in there and other lentils and beans and stuff. And it looks like it's all starting to pop up. So this will be ready for the boys. We'll slowly get this starting to even out a little bit, but it at least hopefully won't be so much of a mud pit for them. That wire we need to get hooked up, but we'll do that later too. But hopefully it won't be so much of a mud pit for them when they get moved out there. This weekend is our goal. That is our hope, is that this weekend we'll be able to get them moved into their paddock. I want to close those doors because the wind and the cold. Our babies, all of our baby chickens and turkeys, they are doing fantastic so far. They're doing great. They're growing and everything. So we're happy with all of that. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that stuff if you're new to the channel, because this is only the beginning of this homestead. And if you don't know, our goal is to make this sustainable, self-reliant, but also try to use a lot of native and everything. Try to start going with more natural looks, which is why the living fence, things like that. So yeah. We're going to be using those rose bushes as well as part of a living fence. I'll show you guys that, because that's being done in the orchard. We also have that winterberry, and there's another winterberry, also known as Michigan holly. Both of those are going to be used as living fences. So make sure you keep up with everything, because honestly, we're going to be pushing along and doing all the things now. So good morning, everybody. So I have to go down and mulch, put the cardboard around the willow still, but today is going to be a big project up here in what's going to become our food garden, because I have to get potatoes planted. So I got to clear out this entire line all the way back, and it's about 26 feet, I want to say. So all of that is going to be for potatoes and seed potatoes. Up here in this back corner, I've already cleared out the area where we're going to be planting the onions. And then I need to clear out where we're going to be planting the broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts, because those are going to have to go in as well. But it's a lot of work because this garden hadn't been tended to or taken care of or anything for what looks like years. So it's a lot of work. I also have a chicken wire fence that has been collapsing and just deteriorating. So that all needs to come down, because I don't even want to use that in this garden. So I got to get that down, which means I got to cut it away, all of that. So it's going to be a lot of work, and it's a lot of hard work. And my mom is going to be coming over later to help us build the raised garden beds. They're not really raised. They're just like maybe 6 inches, 2 to 6 inches above the ground. It's just so that there's kind of a pathway to contain the strawberries. Strawberries like to just kind of take over. So by having it kind of blocked off, it's less likely to. So that's what we're going to be working on. And then at some point, there's a gazebo way back here, somewhere over here, I think, that we're going to be moving, and that's going to get turned into not lighthouse. We live in Michigan. Lighthouses are normal. Our greenhouse that's going to go up here, and that's going to kind of lead into the garden from that way. So at some point that's got to get done, but we got to get the base for it kind of installed. So that involves pea gravel, things like that. So it's just a lot of work. So first up, let's get started on clearing this potato patch, which is going to be a lot of hand pulling of weeds. So because this soil hasn't been worked in a really long time, it's super dense. So we are going to do something that you would normally use a broad fork for, and it's just loosening it up just a little bit. That might help me get some of those grass weeds and Johnny grass or whatever it's called out. But I don't have a broad fork, so we are just going to use a pitchfork, because I do have one of those. So that is what we're gonna do. We're gonna try to break up this soil a little bit so that it's easier to get this stuff out. I'm gonna get as far as I possibly can energy-wise, and after that, we'll get rid of the stuff we'll get rid of the cardboard around the willow and everything like that, and then we will fill up that part with the compost right back here that the chickens have been turning, and we'll get stuff going for that. So we're just kind of gonna work to keep pushing through. So all of the goats are just chilling right there, enjoying the sun. The 2 boys are right up here snuggling, and then the 3 girls all just sunbathing. They're loving it. So now we got to keep going. All of this stuff I'm pulling up from the ground, it isn't just going to get thrown into a pile or anything, or burned or anything like that. We are actually going to use this and turn it into compost as well. So what we'll do is we'll give this to our chickens, and they will do all the work for us. That's kind of a benefit, one of the very many benefits of having chickens. So I highly recommend, if you are allowed chickens on your property, if you have property and you're allowed even just 3 or 4, to do it. Because not only do you get eggs, you may think those eggs are going to cost a lot more, but they only eat about 1/4 pound of food each per day. So not a lot. And if you're giving them compost, that supplements a lot of the food out. So they can compost everything down for you. And you get healthy soil for your plants and everything. So just putting it out there.
Never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets
So just got done with the lunch break really quick, but we got mulched and everything around the willow, which I think I have to go check on it. I think the wind moved a bunch of it around, so I got to go take a look at that. But we did also get compost up here from down in the chicken area So now the first thing we're going to do is compost the onion bed, because I got onions I need to plant today. Then we're going to worry about the the potato area and get the seed potatoes planted. So that's what we're going to work on next. That was a raspberry bush in my butt.
I call them devil vines.
So we need to get these onions planted. I did end up having to purchase onion sets or starts, and then I do have these onion bulbs here. So we're gonna plant all those as well. I don't know what variety these are, but these we have here. We have a red wing. It's a red onion. Then we have Walla Walla, which Walla Walla I got because they are great for storage. So that's kind of the reason I went with those. But we got to get these planted as soon as possible, because unfortunately the roots are starting to dry out pretty good. So I want to get them in the ground as fast as possible. Now onions are one that can be planted fairly close together. So they can be about 6 inches apart. So that's kind of what I'm going to do, is dig little holes and put onions in there every about 6 inches. So we got all of the Walla Walla onions planted. So now I'm just gonna throw some of these down in the ground because these are farther behind. But the red wing, I'm gonna have to do another bed for, which I'll do that across from this current patch. And those will get planted next to our rhubarb, which our rhubarb is brand new. So it's gonna take like a year or two before we can actually eat from it. So not a problem. But I want to get these planted in the ground. These are going to be a couple weeks behind these other ones, so no worries there. So Taylor is watering all of the onions in this bed we have. So now the boys got me some leaf mulch. I'm going to put that on there, and then we're going to take some of this stuff up here and go and bring it down to the willows. I think over there we got to put water on it and everything to soak it, and then yeah, a lot of stuff. And then on our way back we'll go, basically we're just going to keep doing circles. So ways to save energy is by doing that. We had a very busy Sunday. So we did get out there all the willow planted and mulched down and everything. And then this afternoon, I got the onions planted. So we have onions over here. There's the pathway, and then more onions over here. Now, I did not get any of the seed potatoes planted yet. I've still got more amendments to do on the soil there, but that's okay. But my mom came and she helped with the garden beds, the raised garden beds. Now, we changed up the plans a little bit, but that's fine because it ends up being better. And it was just going to be easier. So we stacked the bricks a little differently. Now I have one bed pretty much done. I still am going to put like compost from our compost pile, but down by the chickens, on top of it before I get the strawberries in there planted. And then I just have to do this garden bed as well. Now with the strawberries, I actually have wild chives all over this yard in like different patches. So I'm going to take those out, transplant them in with the strawberries here. And then I actually have all the T-posts that I've collected from around the garden bed. I have them laying on the ground over here. So those are going to get moved into here as well because we're going to make the archways over to grow the loofah, the pole beans, anything like that. But that's what we're going to do. I'm just exhausted today, so I'm going to call it a day. Go inside. It is like 6:30 almost. I'm going to go inside and eat, but I'm going to call it a day. But I still got more fencing to remove and the potatoes to amend. So during this week, I'm probably going to do a lot of that stuff. Yeah, it was a productive weekend again. And we're going to just keep pushing through and get this done. But right where I'm standing, right in this area right here, is actually going to be the gazebo, which will be turned into the greenhouse. So that'll be really nice to have when it's all said and done, because then we can get the shelves or build the shelves, whatever we do for the plants. And I have plans for that up the wazoo, so we're going to be good to go. But time to do the cleanup and get inside and eat.